My child, pause for a moment, because what I want you to recognize today may illuminate the reason you have so often felt that your life does not fit within ordinary patterns. You have passed through many years feeling different, as though everyone else had been given a set of instructions while you were left to find your own way through the mist. You tried to live according to what others expected, to make yourself simpler, less sensitive, and less thoughtful, so that you could fit into places where your heart never truly felt it belonged. Yet the more you diminished yourself, the more exhausted you became, the more you tried to imitate a path that was never meant for you, the emptier you felt. Today, I want you to understand that this difference is not a flaw that must be concealed. You were not created to become a copy of anyone else. You carry your own way of perceiving, your own depth, and your own calling. So your journey cannot be measured by the standard the world applies to the majority. I know you have often wondered why things that others easily dismiss touch you so deeply. A cold glance can remain in your thoughts for a long time. One insincere word can immediately make something within you uneasy, even when others consider it insignificant. You often sense tension in a room before anyone speaks. Perceive the sadness behind another person's smile, and hear what has not been expressed within silence. There were times when you regarded this sensitivity as a burden because it caused you to become easily exhausted and made it difficult to find someone who truly understood you. But sensitivity is not the same as weakness. It resembles a finely tuned instrument capable of hearing the faintest sounds. If you do not know how to protect it, noise will wear you down. But when you learn how to use it wisely, that same ability will help you recognize truth, show compassion to those who suffer, and bring light into places that many people pass through without ever noticing. The sense of alienation you once carried does not mean that you have no place in this life. Sometimes it appears because the deepest values within you are incompatible with the insincerity, haste, or superficiality surrounding you. You long for honest conversations, while many people prefer to exchange only surface-level words. You search for meaning, while others pursue recognition. You want to understand the root of a matter rather than accept an easy answer. Therefore, even when standing in a crowd, you may still feel alone. Yet do not rush to conclude that you were born to live in isolation. You have not been placed in the wrong world. You are learning how to find connections that can honor your depth. Not everyone will understand you, but that does not mean no one ever will. Your genuine companions may be fewer, but they will not require you to pretend in order to remain. There are times when you feel as though you are observing life through a pane of glass, watching others move naturally while you remain outside. That experience can cause you to doubt yourself and wonder whether something is wrong with you. I want you to treat the part of yourself carrying that feeling with gentleness. Do not use spiritual language to deny the real difficulties within your mind and emotions. And do not regard seeking support as evidence of insufficient faith. If sadness, anxiety, or isolation continues for a long time and makes daily life difficult, courageously speak with someone trustworthy or seek professional help. Appropriate care may also be a door I use to guide you back into balance. Faith does not require you to endure everything silently. Sometimes, courage is not found in continuing to hold yourself together, but in honestly admitting that you are tired and allowing others to carry part of the weight with you. I do not want you to believe that you are superior to the world merely because you feel more deeply than others. Depth was not given so that you could reject those who are different from you. but so that you could understand them with compassion. Wisdom is not a crown for self-exaltation, but a lamp that enables you to serve. If you truly carry a noble calling, it will make you more humble, more patient, and more responsible for what you say and do. You do not need to claim that you belong to some distant realm in order to know that your life possesses meaning. What is sacred can be expressed in the way you listen to a lonely person. Keep your word when no one is checking. Choose kindness when you have the right to retaliate. And stand beside truth, even when it brings no immediate benefit. These ordinary actions are the most enduring evidence of the light living within you. The suffering you have experienced has not always been evidence of a mysterious attack. Some wounds arise from human choices, unhealthy environments, lack of understanding, or circumstances that need to be viewed with clear judgment. I do not want you to live in suspicion that every hardship is a force targeting you, because such a belief will cause fear and weaken your discernment. Observe events through both faith and reason. When a relationship wounds you, consider what boundaries need to be established. When work exhausts you, investigate what can be changed. When a fear repeats itself, search for its origin instead of merely giving it a mystical name. I have given you the ability to reason, learn, and seek help. Use all of these as tools for protecting your peace. Perhaps you still carry an unspoken memory within you, as though you have always known that life holds a purpose greater than what is presently visible. Receive that feeling as an invitation to live more deeply, not as proof that you do not belong here. You are present in this age, among these people, with your current abilities and limitations, because your work is found within real life, not within some distant imagined world. A mission does not necessarily begin with an event that shakes the entire world. It may begin with caring for yourself more faithfully, fulfilling your responsibilities with devotion, using your talents to create value, and bringing compassion into places that have become dry. A seed does not need to know in advance how large a tree it will become. It only needs to take root in the proper soil and remain faithful to the process of growth. Do not regard the years of loneliness as evidence that you were rejected. Often, silence gave you time to recognize your true voice amid too many outside expectations. It helped you distinguish what you genuinely believe from what you merely learn to repeat in order to be accepted. Yet a season of solitude is not a place where you must remain forever. After understanding yourself more clearly, gradually step outward and build relationships marked by respect and presence. Do not test people through silence and then grieve because they failed to guess what you needed. Learn to speak clearly, establish boundaries, and allow mature love to grow through truth. You can preserve your depth while also learning how to live close to others. Difference does not need to become a wall. When guided by humility, it can become a bridge. I also want you to stop describing yourself as too sensitive, too deep, or too different in a condemning tone. There is nothing wrong with needing time to recover after noisy environments, being cautious with new relationships, or requiring longer reflection before making a decision. Respect your own rhythm, but do not turn it into an excuse to avoid every challenge. Maturity will teach you to distinguish wise intuition from fear disguised as intuition. What comes from discernment is usually calm, clear, and non-coercive, while fear tends to pressure, exaggerate, and convince you that danger is everywhere. When you are uncertain, Slow down. Examine the facts. Seek trustworthy counsel, and allow time to reveal the true nature of what you are facing. Beloved child, your identity does not exist beyond the limits of being human. Yet, within you are qualities that can be nurtured into a great source of light. You possess the ability to love deeply, perceive subtle things, and refuse easy compromise with falsehood. These are gifts, but they also require discipline, balance, and humility so that they do not become burdens. Care for your mind. Protect your body. Choose environments that nourish peace. And do not hesitate to ask for help when necessary. You do not need to prove that you are special by separating yourself from the world. You will express your most beautiful difference by being fully present within this world while preserving a pure heart. Now, step away from the question, "Why am I not like them?" and begin asking, "How can I use what I have been given to do something good today?" When you live with that question, every experience that once confused you will gradually find its place. And you will understand that greatness does not lie in escaping this life, but in becoming light exactly where you have been placed. Pause for a moment. Beloved child, if these words are causing something in the deepest part of you to tremble gently, because that stirring is not meaningless. It is a sign that you are recognizing a truth that has remained hidden for far too long. I do not want you to react hastily, nor do I want you to turn that emotion into a declaration and then allow it to disappear. Sit quietly with what is being awakened. Some realizations become clear only when you stop trying to control them. You are not here because of an empty coincidence. A part of you has been quietly prepared to listen, to mature more deeply, and to step out of the version of yourself that became accustomed to living in defense. These words have not come to flatter you, but to help you look again at a precious quality revealed through a very small action that perhaps even you no longer remember clearly. I want you to recognize it, not so that you may exalt yourself, but so that you may understand that difficult years have still not exhausted the tenderness placed within you. 9 days ago, in the middle of an already heavy day, you did something that lasted only a few seconds. There was no stage, no introduction, no one prepared to observe you, and no reward waiting afterward. Everything happened so quickly that reason did not have time to construct its familiar questions. In that moment, a need passed before you, so small that most people might not even have noticed. Perhaps it was someone struggling while no one stopped, an expression trying to hide confusion, a hand carrying too much, or a sorrow that had not been spoken. The important thing is not the exact form of what happened, but the way you responded. You did not stand there calculating whether the action was worth your effort. You did not ask what you would receive in return. Before fear of scarcity, caution, or former experiences could stop you, you stepped forward. It lasted only a few brief seconds, but it was enough for the truth within you to be revealed. I saw what you were carrying that day. You were not moving through life with the ease of someone who had nothing to worry about. Your mind was filled with numbers, responsibilities, and questions that had not yet found answers. There were expenses that caused you to lose sleep, family burdens you did not want to mention because you feared causing others more worry, and a loneliness hidden beneath a strong appearance. People had become accustomed to seeing you as someone who could endure more, do more, and continue standing. So very few recognized that sometimes you simply wished someone would ask whether you were all right. Yet, even while you yourself lacked support, you remained sensitive enough to notice another person's difficulty. You did not use your exhaustion as a reason to turn away. This does not mean you have no limits, but it reveals that hardship has not been able to turn you into someone indifferent. Joy in the heavenly places was not awakened by the outward splendor of the action, but by the pure source from which it arose. A large gift can still be given from a desire for praise, while a very small action may flow from love without mixture. You gave without needing anyone to acknowledge it. You helped without secretly creating a debt you expected to be repaid later. You did not use kindness as an exchange, nor did you turn goodness into a tool for building an image. That is what made those brief seconds precious. Genuine generosity is like the natural fragrance released by a flower. It does not need to announce its presence or persuade anyone that it exists. It simply spreads because it is the nature that has been cultivated within. In those few seconds, you revealed that when confronted with pain, your deepest response was still to lighten the burden rather than turn away coldly. Perhaps afterward, you continued on your way and considered the matter insignificant. You told yourself that you merely offered a little, gave someone a hand, smiled, or spoke a kind sentence. But I do not measure as people often measure. I do not look only at material value, the size of the deed, or the number of people who know about it. I look at the place from which you acted. Some give from abundance while their hearts remain closed. Others possess very little, yet offer it with profound respect. An action can appear small in the eyes of the world, yet be great in meaning, because it proves that goodness within you remains alive despite everything that once tried to silence it. You have been hurt, given in the wrong places, and been exploited because you trusted too easily. Yet those experiences were still unable to erase your capacity for compassion. You learned to become more cautious without turning caution into bitterness. That is a victory for which you should be grateful. Yet listen to me with discernment. Kindness does not mean you must grant everyone unlimited access to you. Purity does not mean naivety. And generosity does not require you to exhaust yourself. I am not calling you to prove love by carrying every responsibility that belongs to others. There are times when you should extend your hand to support someone. But there are also times when you must step back so that a person can learn to stand. There are needs you can meet. But there are also demands attempting to exploit your tenderness. Mature compassion means learning to give freely without allowing guilt to control you. Preserve gentleness, but preserve discernment as well. Continue to see those who are vulnerable, but do not forget that you are also someone who needs care, rest, and protection. The action you took 9 days ago did not create a transaction in which heaven now owes you something. I do not want you to believe that because you performed a good deed, you must now receive a corresponding reward. Kindness loses its beauty when it becomes a means of demanding repayment. The deeper shift occurred elsewhere, under pressure. You affirmed the person you desire to become, at the very moment when it would have been easiest to think only of yourself. You still chose to notice someone else, on a day when financial anxiety could have caused you to close your hand. You still allowed generosity to find a way through. Quiet choices such as these are shaping you into someone who can hold more without being changed by possessions. Receive influence without forgetting those who have no voice. And rise higher while still knowing how to bend down and lift another person. I want you to remember that moment as evidence against the lies that once caused you to doubt yourself. When you wonder whether you have become too dry after everything you endured, remember that kindness responded before fear could stop it. When you believe your wounds have left you with nothing beautiful to offer, remember that even during an exhausting day, you were still able to bring relief to another person. When the past calls you a failure, look at the times when you chose what was right, even though no one knew. You do not need a crowd to confirm your worth. The way you behave in hidden places reveals much about your innermost foundation. Yet hold this knowledge with humility, because the most beautiful gift shines most clearly when you do not use it to place yourself above anyone else. Now, you do not need to rush out and search for a greater action to prove that my words are true. Continue living with consistent kindness in ordinary situations. Listen when someone truly needs to be heard. Help within your capacity without destroying the responsibilities you already carry. Speak encouragement when you see someone gradually losing hope. At the same time, learn to say no when a request is pulling you away from peace and health. I want the goodness within you, not merely to appear beautifully in a few spontaneous seconds, but to become a source of strength guided by wisdom. When compassion is joined with boundaries, it is no longer easily exploited. It becomes a river with banks, capable of traveling farther and nourishing more ground. Beloved child, the most precious thing about that moment was not how much another person received from you, but that you discovered you still possess the ability to see and respond. In a world that often moves too quickly past the suffering of others, you stopped. Amid pressures that could have caused you to close yourself, you still opened a small path through which compassion could pass. This is what I am preserving within you. Do not bury it because of those who once failed to value it. And do not waste it in places that only know how to receive but refuse to grow. Let your gentleness possess wisdom. Let your generosity possess purpose. And let everything you do arise from love rather than fear of abandonment. You do not need to become the savior of the world. You only need to remain someone who refuses to let pain determine how you treat the person standing before you. This is what moved the heavenly realm. And this is what will lead you into a deeper season of maturity, where kindness is no longer only a reaction, but a strength that is protected, refined, and used at the proper time. You were never merely fighting to survive. You were being shaped day by day so that you would possess enough strength to enter the calling that has always awaited you. Closed doors, betrayal, prolonged seasons of delay, and nights when you lay still while your heart could not rest were not meaningless fragments scattered throughout your journey. I do not call every wound good, nor do I want you to beautify what caused you pain. But I want you to know that no tear needs to be wasted if you allow it to teach you greater wisdom. Some losses revealed what you needed to leave behind. Certain rejections saved you from a road too narrow for you. Some periods of waiting caused you to stop living in haste and begin building a deeper foundation. What you once considered punishment was often a period of preparation in which immature parts were corrected so that you would not lose yourself when something truly great arrived. I saw you during the days when you had to learn to rise without applause. It was precisely in those hidden places that the ability to lead was formed within you. A leader is not created only when standing before a crowd, but through the way they face disappointment when no one is watching. A warrior is not known only by outward strength, but by the ability to preserve integrity while being misunderstood. A bearer of light is not someone who has never passed through darkness, but someone who passed through it without allowing darkness to turn them into what they once hated. You learned to distinguish love from control, patience from limitless endurance, and loyalty from abandoning yourself. Those lessons carried a high price, but they are giving you a depth that rapid success could never provide. You were not being punished, you were being prepared to carry greater responsibility with humility and awareness. I did not forget you during the months when it seemed everyone else was moving forward while you remained in one place. I simply did not want to give a great door to a heart that still believed it had to please everyone in order to deserve love. I did not want to place new resources in hands that had not yet learned how to establish boundaries, nor bring you into influence while you still allowed praise and criticism to control you. Therefore, I worked upon the foundation, restoring the way you see yourself, healing your reactions to rejection, teaching you to rest without guilt, and helping you recognize that your value does not lie in always appearing strong. The stage you have long awaited will have little meaning if you step onto it while still imprisoned by former fears. The enemy often strikes hardest at places capable of producing great influence, but do not turn this truth into panic or pride. You do not need to view every difficulty as a mysterious attack, nor consider yourself superior to others because you have endured much. Understand simply that every good thing within you will encounter resistance from fear, delay, old habits, and voices that once caused you to doubt yourself. The greatest battle does not always occur outside you. Often, it takes place in the moment, when you must choose between returning to a familiar cycle and following a new truth. Each time you choose peace instead of reaction, discipline instead of impulse, and boundaries instead of continuing to permit harm, you reclaim a part of life that fear once controlled. A shift is now beginning, but its first signs may not be spectacular events. It may appear as clarity in a place where you were once confused. You will begin recognizing what truly belongs to you and what is merely a burden you carried because you feared disappointing others. Peace will gradually return to circumstances that once disturbed your mind. The guidance you have awaited will come through very practical steps, a decision that must be made, a conversation that must take place, a habit that must end, or a skill that must be developed. Alignment is not an ecstatic feeling that lasts forever. It occurs when your values, choices, and actions begin moving in the same direction. When you are no longer divided within, you will move more quickly without needing to rush. You survived the most difficult part, not so that you would continue carrying the posture of someone always waiting for something terrible to happen. Stop examining every joy for signs that it will disappear. Stop viewing a new opportunity through the eyes of former failures. What happened can teach you caution, but it must not turn you into someone who no longer dares to trust. I am inviting you into the next chapter with awareness, not naivety, with courage, not recklessness, and with hope that still preserves wisdom. You do not need to deny your scars. Let them remind you that you learned how to protect what is precious. But do not allow them to persuade you that every person and every door will cause you harm. In the new season, appropriate doors will begin to open. But you must remain wise enough not to knock on every door merely because it shines. What belongs to you will not require you to betray peace, exchange dignity, or live in panic in order to preserve it. Perhaps those who once failed to recognize your value will return and seek your presence. But you do not need to use this to prove that they were wrong. Allow your maturity to speak. Opportunities may appear more quickly than before. But do not let the attraction of speed cause you to neglect the foundation. New relationships may replace those that once drained you. Yet, you will still need time to observe consistency, respect, and the results they produce. Genuine guidance does not remove your ability to reason. It makes you clearer. Your purpose will no longer remain as unclear as before, because you are learning to stop scattering yourself among responsibilities that do not belong to you. The abilities I placed within you will become sharper as you use them consistently. Not while you wait only for a special moment. If you possess the ability to strengthen others, begin by being genuinely present with the person before you. If you have a voice, use it to build rather than to seek attention. If you carry creativity, place it into tangible work instead of merely dreaming about the day you will be recognized. Grace will become visible publicly, not because you display yourself, but because what you cultivated in secret has finally matured enough to bear fruit. Breakthrough may arrive suddenly, but it will not fall from nowhere. It will be the harvest of many seeds you planted quietly. Do not call everything easy a blessing, and do not label every difficulty a sign that you are moving in the wrong direction. Examine the long-term results. What is right may challenge you, but it will help you become more truthful, stable, and open. What is wrong may initially appear attractive, but it will gradually cause you to lose peace, diminish your voice, and move away from good values. I want you to enter the new season, not only with excitement, but with enough maturity to discern. What was once hidden will be revealed in stages, at the time when you can receive it without becoming overwhelmed. Delays will gradually be removed as you complete what is already in your hands. Former obstacles will lose power when you no longer respond through old patterns. My child, the former season does not end merely because you declare that it has ended. It ends when you no longer live according to the patterns that kept you there. New life does not begin with thunder from heaven, but with the decision each morning that you will not return to the way of thinking that made you small. Walk as someone who understands the value of peace. Build as someone who knows that great things require a stable foundation. Love without losing boundaries. Hope without abandoning wisdom. And receive what is new without denying the lessons of the past. You were never insignificant. But what makes you different is not the title chosen. It is the way you choose to live responsibly with the light entrusted to you. The next chapter is opening, and I am not calling you into it to search for a strange new version of yourself. I am calling you to become more whole in the person who has been quietly shaped through every season you have passed.